We often think about the past or worry about what's to come in the future. If you're not spending time overthinking, you might also be going through life on autopilot. There's a reason why there are many philosophies that tell you to live in the present moment. It's not pleasant to spend so much time regretting the past or worrying about the future. It's also mind-numbing to be on autopilot all the time. This video will go over what living in the present moment is like and 5 ways to live in the moment. When you are in the present moment, you are basically mindful and you are practicing mindfulness. I would define mindfulness as paying attention without thinking. Let me keep explaining. Mindfulness involves your mind only and what's going on inside. You can be mindful while doing an activity, just like how you can be mindful while doing yoga or meditating. When you are mindful and living in the moment, you are immersed in the moment. For example, think about the first time you saw something amazing, like a landmark, such as the Grand Canyon. You were most likely in awe of your surroundings and super focused on what's going on around you. That is a great example of what it's like being mindful and living in the present moment. If you practice being mindful enough, it will become a habit and you can do it automatically when you need to, even during boring tasks that you can autopilot through, like driving somewhere. Here are the 5 ways to be mindful and live in the moment. 1. Meditate. To be specific, you want to do mindfulness meditation. This is the easiest way to live in the present moment if you're not used to it, and I think this is the best way to start. This is the best way to start because meditation teaches you how to redirect your focus, which is the basis of all the other ways to be mindful and live in the moment. If you think meditation is when you just sit there and do nothing, you're kinda right. When you practice mindfulness meditation, you sit there and focus on your breath. That's it. There's nothing too complicated about this exercise. You don't need any fancy mats or some fancy incense burning to do this exercise either. When you start thinking about something, you simply redirect your focus onto your breathing. Just because you started thinking doesn't mean you have failed. It's impossible to completely stop thinking, so there's nothing wrong with being distracted. Ideally, you should meditate for 10 to 20 minutes a day, but when you are starting out, it's okay to start with a smaller time frame, like 5 minutes. 2. Enter a state of flow. Flow is when you are so focused on the task at hand that you lose track of everything else around you. Your focus is so intense that you even lose track of time. You probably experienced the flow state even if it's not when you were working before. All those times where you had so much fun and time passed really fast can count as you being in the flow state. Although you're 100% mindful when you're in a flow state, it isn't something you can will yourself into. You need to set up an environment where it is possible to reach a flow state to get into it. The first requirement is to set a goal that's challenging but also realistic. The task needs to match your ability so that it's not difficult enough for you to be stressed and not too easy so you get bored. The next step is to set up the stage in a way that you receive direct and immediate feedback so you can easily adjust and adapt. For example, someone practicing an instrument can immediately tell they played the wrong note. As your focus narrows, you will feel like you have personal mastery over the situation. 3. Wait for the next thought. This is a simple but effective trick. You have to become conscious of your thoughts. You then ask yourself, what will my next thought be? If you focus on your next thought and wait for it, something interesting happens. You become more calm and your mind is more clear. Now that your focus isn't on the past or future, you can then focus on the present and be mindful. If you want to learn more about this trick, check out Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, since this trick is from him. 4. If you are speaking with someone, focus on what they are saying. When you shift all your attention from your thoughts to what the other person is saying, you'll be mindful at that moment. You can calmly analyze what the other person is saying, and you will also have an easier time conversing with that person. This also helps stop overthinking, since you will be focused on the conversation and what the other person is saying, instead of focusing on thoughts in your head, such as, what do I say next? 5. Touch something and focus on how the object feels to your fingers or other body part. When you are focusing on the sensation, you snap out of your autopilot mode, or you stop thinking about past or future. This works because your mind can only process so much information at once. For example, if you're on a subway ride and you want to be in the moment instead of zoning out, Focus on how it feels to be holding onto the pole or whatever you're holding. You can then redirect your focus to the moment and observe your surroundings. The 5 methods mentioned above are some great ways to be mindful that you can use in various situations. Depending on the situation, some of them will be better than the others. It's up to you to choose when you want to be mindful, so remember to be mindful in important situations. Do you meditate? Leave a comment below and check out the video on the end screen if you are interested in decluttering your mind.